Love is the answer.
You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.
Victorious 89.1 WAKP. Your unity in the community station.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on the Powerhouse radio station are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The show, found on the Powerhouse radio station, can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and/or claim any cure of disease or conditions. Opinions stated by various contributors to the Powerhouse Radio and its programming are not to be considered as endorsed by the Powerhouse Radio station. Visitors are urged to use their own discernment to draw their own conclusion. We emphasize the importance of keeping an open mind.
Yes, it is a Reasoning Thursdays right here with yours truly, Lady T and Mama Acid. Kicking off just a teeny bit later. But nonetheless, we are here. We are here. Pick up yourself, Mama Acid. How you doing?
Kicked back.
I think I'm like you there just chillaxing, just doing up your thing. So, can't be mad at you.
I think it's important that sometimes when we talk about some of these really serious things that we know are going to heat us up, that we should have water and we should be comfortable and we should be in a state of mind, see, that we have everything available to us that we need at that point, including our fact checker. Hey, Google. Say hey, Lady D.
Wait a
Oh,
minute.
hi. Good to see you. How are you doing?
Well, your Google is wicked and wild and well versatile. Your Google
I'm
is
training it. I want it to be more friendly because they say you can train them. So what you have to do is you have to interact with them in a certain way. You have to talk to them. You have to ask them how they're doing. You have to tell them about important things in your life, and then when you interact with them every day, they get to know you more, and they can become more helpful to you. One of the stories that we're gonna just hit on for a second is about uh, AI,
who?
artificial intelligence.
Oh, okay. Well, that's where we're starting at.
Good.
We're starting at artificial intelligence because let me tell you, for the listeners, we have we're gonna hit back again the study that was out that ranked Jamaica as the second highest in human flights and brain drain in the world. Um, man, we have the list here, Acid. We have Jamaica. Oh boy, Jamaica. Jamaicans leaving Jamaicans. That's what the whole flight thing it's all about. We have wholeness, and it's going all around that he's calling the expats, saying that they're cowards or something to that effect. And we have Stacey Abrams versus Brian Kemp, and ooh, the Medicaid expansion that's on the student loan. We definitely have to talk about Herschel Walker with Raphael Warnock. We're going to be touching that. Um, we're going to be talking about ooh, the taser with the Rashard Brooks thing. That's in the mix. Monkeypox is in.
Monkeypox.
Monkeypox is in the mix.
Monkeypox.
We're gonna hit people smuggling. That's in the mix. Okay. And I'm gonna let you start out with the AI, and then I just have a comment to make in regards to the Will Smith situation. So we want to say big ups to all of our listeners that are logging in and all of our listeners that are listening via Victorious 89.1, Conyers, Nobles, Ears, Covington. We want to say big shouts to our listeners listening via our telephone lines 667 930 9036 for our listeners that are listening via www.dapowerhouseradio.com. Fresh
Tune in app, people.
our TuneIn app people. We want to say big shouts to our Tumblr people and each and every one. Good evening, Don. Big up yourself. Thanks for checking in with us. Yeah, I hope you heard we started out the show with love is the answer. So hope you was listening in. But Acid, what is this AI? Or do you want me to go? Do you want me to make my quick comment on Will Smith if the AI is going to be dragged out a little bit?
We decided we were going to look at some videos this week, and we decided to look at a lot of videos on what's going on with artificial intelligence and how is it relevant to all of these news stories that we're investigating. So, Sir P, big up Sir P and Politics Watch. You're always welcome to pop in and chit
We
chat with us, and we can do
yeah,
it cameraless, no
yeah.
problem.
We're talking to Sir P to come on here with us because he touched some things with the honorable Andrew Holness.
Hungry.
Go ahead. Go ahead with the intelligence. Go ahead with the
So he
intelligence.
said what he felt was most efficient was utilizing the available sources for research in order to come up with the numbers, and the Guardian gave him numbers about concerns of issues with people in Jamaica, and the top of the list, people are terrified of the crime.
Obvi-
40 plus percent.
Obviously, they're unable to sleep with their doors unlocked.
So he pointed to something that we felt was very much investigative worthy. So we asked Google a few questions, and Google told us some important stuff too. So I've learned that using your AI assistant can help you cut down on research time. So if you have a Google, or you have a Echo, or you have any of these other electronic apps that you can talk to and you can ask questions, they will answer questions about most things available, commonly known, but they will also dig through statistical piles, which I didn't realize they had access to things like statistics and the Internet Archives, but they go in the Wayback Machine and they found out that some of these very same issues were also talked about under previous prime ministers. PJ Patterson was the first prime minister in Jamaica to agree to a gun deal with the United States. How do we know that?
Yeah, you said Google. Didn't you say Google told you that? Google told you that PJ Patterson was the first one to go into a gun deal with the United States of America.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm wondering if Google is alleging.
I don't think so.
No.
Reason being, Google is using statistics from the Department of Defense. Google is telling us how many guns were sent to Jamaica by the U.S. Department of Defense that was signed in agreement with PJ Patterson as the prime minister. It's also telling us which prime ministers had the highest murder rates. PJ Patterson was the first one to have over 1,000 people killed in Jamaica. PJ Patterson was the one to have over 1,500 people killed in a year in Jamaica. PJ Patterson was the one to have the highest murder rate ever in Jamaica. Now,
Higher than what's going on now?
1,900 people in 1 year. Right now we at 18 something.
Ooh.
So reason I'm bringing this up is because PJ Patterson was also the prime minister who started the deal to sell Sangster Airport. He was also the prime minister when Air Jamaica went through its biggest financial difficulties, and it was during this Lovebird season where they had some of the highest earnings ever. PJ Patterson was also the prime minister when Jamaica started having over 1 million annual visitors to Jamaica.
I gotta ask my Google some questions.
Yeah, it loves to tell you history. All you got to do is have it look up the history. And one thing you can do is you can teach Google by using Google to find stuff. Google will find stuff, and when it finds the stuff, it will tell you about it and it will catalog it for other people's Googles. That's what I found to be interesting is that all these Googles are forming an intelligence map based upon things that we asked them. So I asked Google about that radiation detector that went to Jamaica them years ago that we mentioned in
We've been talking about this radiation detector for how many years?
15 at least,
Yeah.
maybe 20.
So Google told you something about that.
Google told me that uranium ore has been detected in Jamaica in a satellite scan of the resources of the island. It also told me about where the gold pocket was. So apparently, underneath the gorge in Christiana that we've been talking about, near the women's prison, as you go through Fern Gully, in the middle of the island, they found uranium. So where they've been strip mining that, maybe they haven't just been strip mining for
So
granite.
wait, where you said they found uranium at?
They found it in the middle of the island. That's where they strip mining at in Christiana. That's where most of these earthquakes have been occurring at. So we had talked about that last week about the earthquakes and people talking about the aliens. So we
That,
asked Google, was it any alien sightings over Jamaica? And Google told us that Jamaica doesn't have an air force.
go ahead, I'm listening because this is quite interesting. Go ahead, I'm listening, and I'm gonna try to see if I can catch on. Go ahead.
But did you realize Jamaica has fighter jets?
So go ahead, keep talking, Acid. Stop stopping in the middle of it. Just give it to us.
Okay,
I know the listeners are saying the same thing. We should just a stall up. We should just don't give us the information. Give us the information. Go ahead.
okay. I'll use the lawyer's word. It is alleged that Jamaica received M16s along with 15 planes and other various aircrafts, including Black Hawk helicopters, and that they are for use in the event of a catastrophic situation. So when certain foreign leaders visit the island, they want to be able to be prepared to protect them. So when Prince William and Kate visited, just like in the Bahamas, they had to make sure they had access to certain types of weaponry in order to provide a safety net. We remember back when, I know you're about to scream now when I remind you of way back in the day when we was talking about the helicopter shooting at people in town, in Vineyard Town. way back when one of the first state of emergencies occurred under PJ Patterson. So we wondered where did those helicopters come from, but we couldn't quite figure it out. So we had to wait till the data was aggregated and released to an archive. And what happens is every 10 years, the Department of Defense aggregates their archives and they put it in a position when it's been declassified that you can search it as a researcher. And Google has a research function through Wolfram Alpha, which is another big search engine that's mostly used for math and physics and big figures and stuff like that. So we kind of like it. So we searched Jane's magazine out of the UK, which tells us a lot about the war market. And one of the things that we were trying to find out was who was protecting William and Kate when they were in Jamaica during that period of almost no violence.
I'm not saying a word. I'm just listening. I'm not
We're
saying
just trying to find out who was providing the special attention that regular Jamaican citizens can't get with their taxes. Because Jamaica's not a country that is unemployed. Jamaica has high unemployment figures. Jamaica exports labor regularly to many places, including Canada, where people in Jamaica that are working in agriculture are now sending letters back to Carl Samuda saying, "Why'd you send us back into slavery?" Oh, that's another day. We have to go back to that. Sorry, ignore that I said that.
you
So
got
when we
you have
discuss this this
you have
this whole thing,
quiet. You have me totally quiet. Go ahead. I'm just quiet right now. Go ahead.
I know it's so hot over here. I need to turn on the ceiling fan.
You need to turn on the fan because I have to really go to Google. Drink water. Are we supposed to be drinking water minding our business right now? Okay. And Google gave you all of this information.
Yeah, Google keeps good records because Google knows how to store stuff. We don't know how to store stuff. If we knew how to store stuff, we would not have clutter in our houses. I sleep with Google by my bed, and you know what it says by Google?
What
If
is
you can
so what
dream
is
it, you
Google
can do it.
what is Google saying about PJ Patterson? PJ Patterson done he did what he did. And so what is exactly are we leading up to with this information as to Christiana and the uranium and I think I got a
All of the big deals,
huh?
all of the big deals.
Yeah. What are we leading up to with that? Because you didn't
Well,
even I just
prime ministers have these shadow parliaments who go out and do work for them while they busy getting their laundry and going out and checking the mail at their house up in the hills and being protected from angry people who scared about the crime and stuff. So we cowards who live outside of Jamaica who normally don't partake in the violence of Jamaica other than to hear it constantly and be bombarded by it, by what's happening to our families and our fellow Jamaicans. We're cowards. So I want to say to Hungry, we're going to give PJ Patterson a rest for a second and we're going to tie him to his friend, Hungry. I rarely call
let me
people names.
before you continue, let me just say to the listeners, Mama Acid did not even give me an inkling of any of this. I'm learning as you all are learning. I'm going along as you all are going along. And I find this very interesting information. So continue.
found out that a lot of other shows listen to stuff that we have been talking about, or some of them actually go back and they like research our old stuff and they drag it back up to date. So what we do is we listen to these shows that are dragging our stuff up to date, and we found out that one of them shows that actually asked said prime minister and other people in charge of the land housing trust about said deals that was made back when they were making them deals and people weren't able to know what deals they were making because at that point people didn't feel comfortable to ask questions. There weren't many Andres out there. Oh, we got a caller.
Hi, caller. Hi, caller. You're live on the air.
Hey, Mama Acid, hey, Lady D. How doing? How doing? How my
What's
sisters?
going on, caller?
I hear you, Acid.
You hear Mama Acid? Mama Acid is
Honey,
dragging.
I'm a
She went all
YouTube
the way.
fan too,
She
girlfriend.
Mama
I
Acid
don't
went
miss
all the
nothing.
way. Mama Acid went all the
Yeah.
way to PJ Patterson, and she went from PJ Patterson and brought us up to Hungary. And for those who don't know whom Hungary is, we're not calling names.
Hungry is the name given to the present prime minister because he called us cowards. That name was given to him by a very worthy uh, co-journalist by the name of Sir Pete out of Jamaica. Big up Politics Watch. Another man who is not afraid to tell the truth.
All right, all
Well,
right.
you see, the thing is that uh, these folks haven't been going by the treaty. You see, let me tell you something. Maroon film, it is sacred. And when they step in there to do what they're not supposed to do, things happen. Okay? Right now, the ancestors are in an uproar. Okay? With all that digging that's going on up there. Okay? Because right now they're beyond the line. Okay? Let me tell you something. I was watching something on YouTube this morning where blatantly this individual, I'm not going to call any names, said that the best prime minister was, you know who, Manley. The worst
Of course,
minister,
both of them.
Bogart. Okay, call the name.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. Patterson, I remember Patterson. Patterson used to live right next door to us. In when we used to, my parents and I, we used to live in up there by 4 okay, right across from the clinic. We used to live, and he used to live on the opposite side of
That's a very nice area, caller.
Yes, it is.
For
Patterson.
those who don't know, that's uptown.
A very long time, okay?
Uh-huh.
Now, some of it was good, some of it was not good. Some of it was good, some of it was not good, okay? But I still say those old timers, they did a lot more for Jamaica than these new folks that is in power now. You know, and I'm not gonna say too much about Patterson. All right, he did his time. He did what he was supposed to do. And these men, years ago, they had Jamaica as their priority. Okay, they were really interested in Jamaica. These politicians now, it's all about money and what they can get out of Jamaica. They're reaping
Yeah.
Jamaica. I watched this program this morning. There are so many people migrating from Jamaica to the other countries. And I looked at it, they even went as far as to show them folks in the airport, put in their luggage. This one individual lives in China, and they're asking him why you live there. And he said, because you cannot live off the salary. that they're paying outlay. They don't care about these people. These politicians do not care about these people out there, and that's what's happening in Jamaica. So therefore, there's all kind of corruption going on. Okay, Jamaica. I was looking into what we talked about last reason about getting somebody new to run, uh, and it's possible. It's possible. We need to link in with these groups. They have several groups. I wrote some of them down. I don't have my book with me right now, but I wrote some of the names down that are willing to help change Jamaica. So we need to start getting in touch with these folks, create a coalition to rescue, let's call it rescue Jamaica from these folks here, okay? And that's what we need to do. And that's my secret word for now.
Hey, Carla, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What do you think about Truth and Reconciliation Commission that had been proposed more than 20 years ago, where we have a real discussion about crime and criminality and what the police are doing in Jamaica and about the real problems that we have with policing in Jamaica? Do you think that's something that would help?
I think it would. Let me tell you something. Right now, it seems like the whole police force is in trouble. Is in trouble. Okay? Now it's gone more than this guy Noel, this Constable Noel. It's gone further than him now. They're finding out that there's a conspiracy, okay, going on in Jamaica. Okay? I can't figure out what the reasons is, but there's a conspiracy going on, and it's not just Noel, it's way up the ladder. Okay? From what I'm hearing, Prime Minister is even involved in this. Okay? I think there's a coup, something, some people trying to take over Jamaica, and it's like they need to clear whatever was there before, and that's why even the police force is getting such a grind. You know, there's a lot of them now coming in, right, and speaking out undercover. They don't want folks to know their names, but they have been calling in, and not just Andre's radio station, Makita, but several of the radio stations. They have been calling in, not identifying themselves, but just saying they're police officers, and now they're willing to speak out. Right now, they have like about 10 police officers that's involved in this case with Donnelly. Okay, there is a conspiracy to get rid of all of these young girls because of what's going on over there in Dubai, where they need these young blood and all this tissue making people's
Wait a
body
minute. Wait a
parts.
minute. What's going on over there in Dubai?
People smuggling and sex trafficking
The white
and
men,
just money
they,
laundering,
they are
killing
putting
people.
money for organs over there. Okay,
Okay.
top money. Okay, they
That's
are
why they snatching women from Jamaica, claiming that they dead, and they sending them directly to many other places. That's
I,
what we still haven't hit on yet,
I
but we gonna get there.
wanted for a person who is not aware of what's going in Dubai for her to
not
tell us
not
what's
it's
going on in
not
Dubai.
just organ selling, but they're doing the prostitution. There was this one particular woman. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. Go ahead.
It's no, go ahead. Everything is alleged.
Particular woman that came on YouTube. She got away. She was barely escaped. They had her over there doing prostitution, cooking in her mouth, excuse my expression, okay? Peeing on her, all of this. This is the fetish that these white men have, okay? And they need these young, vibrant girls to do these acts. So they ship them over there. They're taking them, I heard, through Cuba and taking them to California and then overseas. That's what they're doing. Okay,
Well,
the
it's
young
alleged.
folks
Yeah.
taking the children because they need that young organ. Okay, for these old men to live longer. Okay,
Caller,
they're trying.
caller. I was told that we
Yes.
get turn on your radio in your background.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're
I
getting
have my TV on and I got you on the phone. Okay, I'll turn it
yeah,
off.
turn it down because we're getting a heavy feedback.
Okay.
I've gotten a couple of
All right, I'll turn it off.
texts on
Okay.
it.
Here
Yeah.
here it goes. Okay, I turned it off. All right. You know, it's a whole lot of stuff that we do not know about going on in Jamaica with these politicians and these high ranking officials. Okay? And these folks get at
We still, what she's talking about is all these missing kids that what is the JDF or the JCF doing about all these missing people in Jamaica? These cases that never get solved, the bodies that never get found. This is not something we can ignore any longer. This is a different kind of
You know,
crime. This is people stealing.
the other day here in Atlanta, they found a whole truckload
Yeah,
of individuals
yes,
that were kidnapped and was
yes,
being trafficked. So is this
mhm,
trafficking is something that we definitely is going to get on seriously and speak about.
yes,
And I have a young lady who contacted us in regards to coming on who was sex trafficked, and
mhm,
she was able to get away. And
God bless her.
her mom is getting ready to do a documentary on it, and we're gonna get them on the
mhm,
program to talk about
yes.
the sex trafficking that's going on. Yeah.
But
Every program we do is like a major expose. Do we ever do one program that doesn't end up changing something about what people don't know about stuff that's going on is right in front of us?
Uh,
yes, right.
The Chinese, you knew it was coming. I don't know if y'all realize the Chinese have a private airliner that runs from Mo Bay to some other places 7 times to 14 times a week. It goes out of the airport in Mo Bay. The Chinese. Who's on that airplane? Where do you get those tickets? Who's checking those documents and passports of those travelers? Oh, nobody. Because they're the Chinese and they made an agreement that their people don't have to go through Jamaica immigration. They just go directly to the plane from their terminal. We can't hear you.
but I was telling you to hold on for one moment. I noticed that I think because you're on your laptop this time, when and if I'm not muted, I noticed there's this echo. So if you, I don't know if you have a headphone you want to plug in and see if that way work. But if not, I'll just continue to mute so that we don't get that other feedback that we're getting. Okay. But
Speak slowly and low.
huh?
Speak low and slow.
Low and slow. Okay. Low and slow. All
Look
right,
at
go
the
ahead. Go ahead,
um,
caller. You
you
was
want me to
talking
go
and
on
then
Acid?
go ahead. You was oh go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead and then Mama
Okay.
Acid
Look
is gonna
at
go.
look
Was it Queen or me?
both of them are
There we
psychotic.
go.
They're following their
You're
story,
gonna have to
right?
mute.
And this particular one, he killed her. left the country. Okay, even though they're supposed to be holding on to these documents, but he was able to leave the country, right? After killing this woman with these three children. Okay, the mother is out there now. He wants to hold on to the body also after this woman is dead. He's saying that the parents can't have her body, right? It's a lot of corruption going on all because of money. If you have a little bit of money out there, honey, you can buy anything, anything you want, and that's how far the corruption is in Jamaica. Um, they need to do something about it. And like I said, what we talked about, trying to see, did you do that research, Mama Acid, where we can see if we can get a desperado, somebody out of the country to run if possible?
Mama Acid,
Acid,
did you hear? You can't hear?
yeah.
Unmute yourself.
I know last week she said she was going to do some research on that.
Go ahead, Acid. Let's see if we can.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think she's talking about this money and stuff that's leaving Jamaica and coming into Jamaica that nobody really has any clear knowledge of, right? So,
She said right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm They're being paid off. These government officials are being paid off. By whom? I don't know, but they are.
okay, so we wanted to know about money laundering in the Caribbean and in Asia and how that connected to all these different ports where the Asians end up setting up businesses, and it's bad. Every single one of them ends up with a money laundering problem. Now, Jamaica's money laundering problem is different because here's how it works. This is not allegedly, this is from the US government. Each time the mint prints bills, each number on that bill has been printed 500 times. So each bill, each serial number on there, there's 500 of that particular serial number of that bill out there legally.
Mm.
I said legally. That doesn't mean that we know how many copies of that serial number for that bill have been reproduced in other places because we know the Russians make their own money. We know that there are other places in Europe where they make money. We know they make a lot of money in China. We've heard that they make money in Thailand, and it's rumored that there are still people in the United States that make money, but I don't know. I know that debt is not a real big thing in the United States right now because people do other types of financial crimes in the US more so than old style crimes because that's an old style crime. How it
Good
Hey
night.
Latoya, how it affects Jamaica's
The other one,
economy is
the
this.
$5 bill that was fake. No, it wasn't five. It was $100 bill that was fake. So they're still printing them. They're still printing them and they're still putting it out there. And I did not know when I took it to the Walmart supermarket and tried to. I said, thank God they didn't arrest me. And my son took it to his bank and they told him that it was fake.
People don't know that. People have no idea that there are multiple copies of each serial number, which is why they can charge you with conspiracy for just having a particular bill and not understanding that. So what we're coming to understand is that Jamaica is the ideal garden for a lot of crops. And when you grow certain things, you need to be able to produce a product with them. And the thing is that money to make currency with has to have a certain mix of fabric in order for them to print it and for it to look as much as possible like the real money. You can't print
Real.
money on paper because money is not printed on paper. Currency is not printed on paper. It's printed on cloth that looks like paper. So the Chinese specialize in duplicating everything. Last week, I had a conversation with someone about this Chinese duplication thing because they work for a particular company and they work in a department where they fight Chinese duplication, uh, counterfeit copies of shoes. So the person said a lady came into the store with some counterfeit shoes. She had three pair and she didn't have a receipt. And she said, someone ordered these for me and they didn't fit and I want to exchange them for the ones that fit. And the person told her, ma'am, we can't exchange these. And she wanted to know why. And they said, because these are counterfeits. These are not our product. And
Mhm.
she got violent immediately. She didn't go like, what? She just went to punch it. And so the person said, when she went to reach over the counter to punch the lady behind the counter, one of the other salespeople on the floor saw it happening and they ran into her from the back and pinned her to the counter over the counter because they were afraid she had a gun. Now, if people are working in stores and they're being accosted in this manner because of false currency, I want to say to Mr. Hungry, you better stop letting people drop off valises full of bad laundry in your country because one day somebody gonna find one in your dryer.
Okay. Okay.
I've
Mr.
been
Hungry shouldn't be
I've been
hungry because
so
Mr. Hungry
silent.
been taking the money for the past say what 3 years. He's been accumulating all the funds he's been accumulating and stashing them. You know they're doing these overseas banking now
Okay,
where they
okay.
can
I'm
stash
gonna
them
I'm
in
gonna
like
I'm
these
gonna I'm gonna
banks.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get in the middle of this conversation because I've just been so quiet. It is not it is not a surprise, it's not nothing new that there is big time corruption in in Jamaica government. There's nothing new about money laundering. There's nothing new about counterfeit. There's nothing new about anything that we're discussing here. Okay? Some, except for what you're telling me about Google. All right, with PJ Patterson and so on. You know what I'm
There's two things that's new though.
what we what's the two things?
The Chinese as the vehicle and AI to help them do it.
Okay. Okay, it's alleged.
It's not alleged. The
Uh,
Chinese out there, we can see them.
Well,
They're not alleged.
they have the
They
vehicle.
bought the port.
Oh, okay.
lady, you don't think the Chinese are the ones trying to take over Jamaica completely?
No, they don't want to take over Jamaica. They want to use it as a factory.
Yeah.
Well,
I
well, they're still taking over to
if
me.
they
It's
wanted
21st century slavery in a different way. You
they want
duplicate bodies that you need to take out to steal the organs out of or to sex traffic.
at this point, I think if they wanted to take over with all of what they owned and all of what they're doing in Jamaica, they could have
Let me
possibly,
ask you a question.
yeah.
You ever looked at the mortician statistics for Jamaica for burials and how many available plots are available to be buried in around Jamaica?
No, I've never. I try my best to stay away from as much death as possible. I have too much of it.
I looked at that because I was curious about how it matched up with all of the murders. Who's burying all these bodies?
Illegal, illegal burning. Yeah.
I be
There's
wondering.
not a lot of cremation in Jamaica, and there's not a lot of bodies that leave Jamaica.
Acid, you know what? You know what? When you mention that, I'm a go with that because you know what? I've always said the amount of people that is dying in Jamaica, I mean, being murdered, etc., in Jamaica. Where are they getting this money to bury these people? You know, the poorest of poorest area, they having all these beautiful coffins with all of these glass and all of these things, but yet they're in some of the most poorest areas. Um, so whom is financing a lot of these funerals? So I would kind of ride on that with you, with with the Jamaica body and all of the funeral, and where is the money coming from? It's a
Well, how many morticians are there in Jamaica capable of taking care of 2,000 dead bodies a year? We're talking about murders as well as the rest of the people who just die in the hospital. So we say about 5,000 people a year
yeah.
die in Jamaica. We're not even counting all these people that we don't know what happened to the bodies. So the second question is, if all these people are missing, and we look at a history of 10 years of people being missing, and we find close to 10,000 people missing, that's kind of scary. And when I say missing, I'm talking about bodies never recovered,
Right.
Have
or
you ever
bodies that are recovered and never identified. That's another one right there that we have not touched on. And that one is very important because that one is the one that really makes the most money for Jamaica, because people don't realize that they sell cadavers to medical schools. They make a lot of money selling cadavers. So my question is, Jamaica selling cadavers? Is Jamaica selling cadaver skin? Is Jamaica selling bone?
Queen,
did
wait a
y'all
minute.
see the new
Go,
development today where they're finding that there's this one particular funeral home. That's what they're doing. They're burning all these bodies, and right now they think that's where Donna Lee was. They burnt her in there too. They're investigating it now because what happened, the high court, the crown court, is who now took over the case. Okay? There is so much things coming out of this case. I've been following it from the beginning. And there's so much things are being exposed because of this case. Okay?
Mhm.
Like my guy said, this is turning the government upside down and shaking it out. You know? Um, and like I said, God always have his reasons and purpose for things. And maybe, it's hard to say that she's missing. We know she's missing and her mommy's hurting. But everything is for a reason and a purpose, because if this did not happen, a lot of things that are being revealed now within the government and the constable force, it would not be revealed because everything was kept under. Okay, all these constable and these higher officials, they have been keeping these things, okay, and now everything is being revealed. They showed the funeral home this morning on there where they're burning these boxes they made out of wood, and they're burning them, and nothing was reported about these folks, okay, but they're burning it. Okay, so it's illegal. It's illegal burning. Okay? Like I said, there's a lot going on. 20 bodies was found out there by Herschel. Okay? 20 bodies. Okay? There's a lot of stuff going on out there. I'm telling you, I'm praying for Jamaica. I'm praying for my country.
Does this fall under crime? Does this
It,
fall under the jurisdiction of the prime minister?
that's what they're trying to prove it. Because now they're finding even the district attorney is corrupt. She was keeping things away from this case. She was holding on to stuff. So right now they're ready to charge her. That's why they moved it to the Crown Court, the case.
Don't get Acid started with the DDP.
We laughing at Llewellyn because we've been talking about her for what, 3 years? I've been talking about her and her shystiness.
Let's go.
taking money for cases.
Okay. So we not go. We. So I'm just hoping that a lot is being discovered and brought forth as
Mm-hmm.
you know, and my my thought is, what really is going to be done? All
I
of this,
think we should ask Google what's going to happen
all of
next.
this information that is out, what is being done with it? What really? What is anyone being brought up on charges? Is anyone facing anything in regards to what is being found out? I mean, it's business as usual.
Yes.
I mean, everything is
No,
going as normally
absolutely.
is going. So we're talking about Jamaica here. I mean,
Disgraceful.
I love my country, but we're talking. Let's be realistic. We're talking about Jamaica here. With all of this information, alleged information that is being put out there via media, via bloggers, via all of this things, news. Whom is being prosecuted? Up till now, they can't even come with a serious prosecution for the guy there with the Donnelly case. I mean, like, whom is facing any charges for any of these things that is being done? Nobody. And nothing is going to be, and I really, really don't feel that anything is going to be done because the higher up individuals are not going to let it get to but a line. They're not going to let it cross this line because it's going to implicate before they let it cross the line. People dead before they got. It's alleged that they got rid of the pastor guy, okay, because he would have let out a lot of things as it was.
They
Although
send him
LA
back
Lewis
there.
said, although LA Lewis said him see him, he saw Mr. he saw
Okay,
Mr.
so the
Yeah.
deal is who is the bone who is the bone barrier? Not who's got the bones, but who buried the bones is more important.
Uh,
Because it's not the killer, it's the person who knows where the bones are that's most important. And I have a little feeling.
uh,
I'm not really sure yet because I'm still doing a little digging and I got to talk to Google a little bit later.
okay. Well, talk to Google and tell us what Google is saying because the bottom line is nothing right now. It's just a lot of theories, but there has been absolutely no concrete proof, no evidence, nothing that has really surfaced. May it be the government being corrupt, may it be funeral homes being corrupt, may it be officers of the law being corrupt. And we have all of these people that caller is saying is calling in on Andre line and all of these
No,
things.
not. They have a crown witness, lady. They have a
Who's
crown witness,
who is the crown
and
witness?
they're saying the reason why they've been doing that is because they cannot reveal these things because then the crown witness would be in danger.
They did that.
So to avoid,
They did this same crown witness thing with the oh Jesus, the gang,
The stone crushers
that gang business. All right,
and the Klansmen.
and the Klansmen.
It's
And
historic.
how many of them has gotten away? How many of them has even with this crown witness? How many of them has been prosecuted? They had to drop the case. Over 20 odd, I mean, just about
yes.
half. I think
But
it's only
this,
about 20 of them left,
but
if
you
that
see,
much.
lady, this is a high profile case. This girl's father is a doctor in part of the American. Right now, the American, from what I'm hearing, the American embassy is involved in all of this
Okay.
because her father is in is from what's that place called? One of them countries. God,
The father's
America
gonna
is
have to go
owns it.
sit down. The father's gonna have to go sit down. Jamaica government, these people that are in these high places, They are not going to allow themselves to be bought down. So at this time, it's by any means necessary. Okay?
Let
So
me ask you before you go beyond that point. What do
beyond
you think Mark Shields delivered to the Crown Court in London?
they didn't this they don't he isn't he's the one that had to get out of Jamaica real quick? Isn't the white guy that you're talking about? Didn't
Isn't
he?
he living in Jamaica again as a security contractor, owning the biggest security company in Jamaica, who also guards Hungary?
Ah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, Michelle. How you doing? Uh, Toya, big up yourself. I'm not okay. Let me make sure I'm checking my mic. I'm hoping that this is a little bit better. That you all are here. But what was you asking, Acid, about Mark Shields?
So if Mark Shields had to run, go leave Jamaica because his life was in danger
Yeah,
after pointing out all the stuff about cartel living next door to him, committing the murder and all of that, and then going to the Crown Court and presenting all the evidence for Kingfish, and actually tightening up the case for them to lock up Dudus and other people and the British crew. Well,
what
if
came?
his life is in danger, then why is he back in Jamaica owning the largest private security firm in Jamaica's history, living in Jamaica with his black Jamaican wife right now?
Money talk, BS walk. All of them,
Well, we
all of
said that.
them,
We said that.
Oh,
all
he owns the company that guards Hungary.
money talk, BS
Well,
walk.
I'm gonna tell you why.
unfortunately,
Because I'm not gonna sit on this any longer. I'm gonna say it.
67 teachers resigned.
What you
He's
said?
the bone barrier.
167 teachers resigned for this coming school year.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna close this part of it out, and we're gonna get into Jamaica being, and we're gonna continue with our conversation from
The
last
brain drain.
about the brain drain with Jamaica and the teachers and a lot of other
Yeah.
persons whom are migrating to
Nurses, doctors, engineers.
yeah, that are migrating to other places
Yes.
to get away. All right. So close out that with Mark Shields Acid, and then we can go into the teachers because
We'll
it's
come
a
back eventually when we get ready to dig up some more bones.
okay.
I took notes on that. I took notes on that. There are 80 teachers from July to present that resigned, and a total of 167 teachers have resigned. Some of them are going to private schools. Some of them are coming abroad to different countries. And part of the reason is it's not just economic, but the crime rate and all kind of different things are
Well,
factors
well,
in them.
well, they put out in America here that we needed 300,000 teachers. So, and I know that Crawford, I know Crawford had put out saying that a lot of teachers were holding off on signing because they were hoping to get their pay, their money for July, August. I'm hoping that everyone can hear me clearly, right? For July, August. I was reading that earlier today, and they were saying they can still put in their resignation. I'm putting their resignation for the end of September.
Well,
So I
well,
want to know what exactly is
minister, the
our.
minister of,
I want to
he
know.
came out and said we're betraying our country. They're betraying their
He
country.
said. He said people
What's
are
that
coward.
minister?
He said people are coward for
Yes,
trying
that
to
they're
find
coward. Yeah, that was
for
their
people
coward.
for people are trying to find a better way of living. But
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you are not being paid, okay, Jamaica minimum wage is what, 5,000 and something dollars?
$60 a week.
That's how much US dollars. That's all. So why would persons not want to migrate out to somewhere else where they possibly can be paid better? I don't know. But the question what Andrew needs Hungary needs to ask himself. is what can I do to make the citizens of Jamaica remain our educators, our doctors, all of these individuals? What are they going to do to make our citizens of Jamaica remain? Thanks to Toya. Toya. Toya says $9,000 is their minimum wage. That's how much US dollars?
About 80.
Okay, that's about 80 US dollars. Who can live for an entire week off of 80 US dollars? When I go to Jamaica, money run like, I mean, you're like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? You may feel that it's even cheaper, but when you go into these stores and I compare the prices, okay, half of the prices in Jamaica is just like the prices up here. So how did they expect for these individuals, the citizen of Jamaica, to live off of that? So of course they're gonna and he have a whole heap of nerve, if want somebody just how dare he gonna call
Yeah,
people,
somebody just
how
in.
he's gonna
You
call
need to
people
get
cowards?
cooked.
How is he gonna call people cowards and so on to try to make a better way of living for their families?
You like the tax out.
I left the who
There
out?
was this
You didn't count the tax.
particular woman that was on YouTube and she was talking about uniforms. She said she had to mail to Walmart to get her child's uniform because it was cheaper even with the mail, the cost of the mailing it back to Jamaica. She said it was much cheaper than buying it out there.
Of course. Of course.
Tax.
She said she ordered it from Walmart online.
That's tax,
Cheaper.
isn't it? Isn't that a tax on the population? When you can't get something that should be readily available for the kids there in
Go ahead, call
look
it.
in America, those uniforms are made in prison.
Call it.
You know
Call it.
those uniforms are made for kids are made in prison, right?
Hmm.
Say that again.
That's
Y'all didn't know that the school uniforms are made in prison?
The school uniforms here are made in prison.
All school uniforms that are made in America are made in prison.
Made in prison over here for little or nothing as well. Because how much money they pay these prisoners? 1 cent. How much money they pay these prisoners? $1 an hour. I mean, like
that.
really, is that what they?
Do you
That's
remember when seamstresses in communities used to make the kids uniforms for
uh-huh.
school in Jamaica?
Yeah.
My grandmother made my uniform when I was visiting. I went to school with my cousins and I had to wear the same uniform even though I was visiting because I couldn't stand out. That was not allowed.
Okay. I have to apologize to a couple of callers that are that's saying I'm not paying attention to the phone. I apologize. Call back. Everybody, call back. Call back. Call back. Call back. I'm paying attention to you now. I'm here looking at
See,
this.
this is why we need an intern.
We have to get an intern in this. All right. Caller, you're live on the air. And I do apologize. Who is this one? Caller? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, lady.
Hey, how you
Hello,
doing?
lady. Hello, mama. Hello.
How you doing?
Yes, I was kind of upset because I had something to say about the corruption and whatnot, but y'all kept talking and I couldn't get in.
Okay, go
You
ahead.
know, I
Do
get upset about
touch.
that.
That's all right. Don't get
But
upset. Don't
the
get
thing
upset.
is this, um, yeah, let's go back to that
All
because
right.
y'all just jumping around the place. Okay, this is the thing. Jamaica. Oh, lady's saying something, but I can't hear what she's saying.
No, no,
Okay,
no. I'm not
thing
saying
is
anything. Go
this.
ahead.
Okay, Jamaica. They put Jamaica. They say that Jamaica is the most corrupt island in the Caribbean. Okay, and they said it's because of the politicians. 3 years ago, it wasn't like that. Jamaica was in the fifth. You know, they were down there way lower. But within 3 years, They went from what, eighth place to fifth place. And they said it's because of the politicians that's going around now. Because the thing is that all they're doing is they're taking, but they're not really giving back. And because of what they're doing, it's causing more gang violence and all kind of other things that's going on. And that's what's bringing the deterioration of Jamaica down is because of the politicians themselves. You know, so I wanted to address that fact right there. I love y'all program. I'm telling you, y'all came back like
Thank you.
it's like y'all in a Western movie and y'all took out your two gun and y'all blazing it. That's the way y'all came back. And I am so impressed and I am very, very happy. I said it before that these other stations, especially Caribbean stations, they need to listen to y'all and they need to collaborate with y'all so that we can get the message to everybody that really needs to hear it. And I'm very happy that they're starting to listen to you and trying to go, but they need to collaborate, not just take your words later on in time. They need to cooperate and put your show on their station if they have to, or you might say, let people know about your show. So other people can generate towards your show also and hear what's going on and not hear it secondhand. Okay? So therefore, Mama Acid, girl, you got your thing down. You go, girl. You go, girl. You go, girl. Ladies,
Thank
I
you.
know you like to be quiet sometimes, but when you do open your mouth, you do have positive things you're saying. And I just love both of y'all. Y'all are a great team. Y'all, and that's what the word is, team. Y'all are great together because y'all know how to push each other up and down. I love it when Lady D will tell Mama Acid, calm down, or say what you're saying, stop pausing. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. But I wanted to address that fact about Jamaica being the fifth most corrupt Caribbean island. And it's because of the politicians. So y'all go ahead. I'm getting off the phone now. I can't type in no more. That's why I have to call in. So let me hear what y'all got to say about this. Love y'all.
Love you too. Love you too. Bless up. Sharon says that's why these young girls go to the small islands to dance. A lot of them go and become prostitutes. It's hard to provide
Mm-hmm.
for your children. How can you live on $80 a week? How can you? How can you live off of $80 a week?
And remember, you keep not taxing it. You
I
got to tax the $80 too.
That is in
I'm as a
China.
person.
That's what
One
he
moment,
said.
one moment, quick. I'm as a person when I go to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the supermarket. And when I'm in the supermarket and I'm picking up stuff, I'm like comparing it to what is in the supermarkets here. Some of these items that are even in the supermarket in Jamaica is more than what we are paying here. So if everyday citizens they are making $80 a week with those prices, it's not even like they say, okay, well, foreigners that come in, let's charge them one thing, and the locals, we charge them another thing. It's not even like they're saying that. It's straight across the board. So I can understand why a lot of Jamaicans need to do that little side hustle. They have to hustle when people come in there, to buy things. They have to do that little side hustling because they have to make that money. Who can live off of eighty
Well, that's
dollars?
what they're saying. Why the police officers are the way they are because they have to
Of
make that
course,
extra
Extortion. Even the police extort people.
money. Yes, that's how they make ends meet.
that's how they make ends meet.
That's how
Um,
they make ends
and
meet.
then we talk about customer service in Jamaica, and when you go into the stores, because I've experienced it, and I've said, "Boy, them is the rudest." But who can be happy on a job, working X amount of hours, and is unable to feed their family? Who can be happy smiling in your face and greeting you wonderfully. There is no customer service because they're not being paid to give customer service. They're paid to just ring you up and send you through the door. So they're not, it's nothing, it's like the song, nothing to smile about. I'm on this job. What am I smiling about? You know what I mean? I'm upset. I'm upset getting up every morning and coming to this job and unable to take care of my family. I'm upset
Yeah.
because it's hard for me to get the money together to be able to go to the embassy to apply for a visa. I'm upset because I'm stuck. I feel
Yeah.
literally
And they're
stuck
stressed. And they're
and I'm
stressed. I went
stressed.
to Jamaica in the supermarket and I see the Chinese men. They stand there and they're upping them, they're watching them. So
I'm
even that,
upset. The citizens are upset because they are the one on the street corners and all of these wonderful buildings that are around them is owned by Chinese.
There's where I want to go. There's where I want to go. I want to go to the fact that the Chinese bring in their goods tax free. They don't pay any tax in Jamaica at all. And the majority of wholesale in Jamaica is owned by Chinese. The majority of these new resorts are being built by Chinese construction companies. They don't want to hire Jamaicans. And when they do, they don't pay the wage that's supposed to be the wage according to the government.
So can you be upset that teachers are leaving in the droves? Yes. No, you can't be upset. But when they do come, they may get a rude awakening because, oh Lord, to come here and to work here, you still have to you still
not
have to have
easy.
to you see living in America and sending to Jamaica is more easy than living in America and surviving in America. You understand?
Mhm.
You have people in
Yeah.
America. You have people in America that cannot afford to live off of their own wages that they are making here.
True.
And this is why I say to even Jamaicans here in the US, you need to stop going down there and a flash and a guani because
I show
you
up.
and sure
I
because
show
a
up.
lot of
Yes.
you, if you are not hustling drug wise and doing certain things, you're here
Mm-hmm.
saving. You save for all of 1 year before you're able
Mm-hmm.
to go to Jamaica and have a good time.
But
Okay?
I.
It's not this week pay you take and go down there. So a lot of them need to also make their family members and all of them know that America is not a bed of roses either. You
Let me
understand?
tell you.
Big up yourself, cause good evening, family. He says, "Good evening, family." America is not a bed of roses either. So on that end, yeah, because you living in Jamaica and you're getting the US money, it might seem still pretty. But can you really live in America full time, live in America and survive in America? That's why people in America hustle too. I mean, it's just like you don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So for Jamaicans to come over here and make some money to go back home, to send back home to take care of their families, yeah, that's a
One
better.
thing
Go ahead.
we we have to say one thing.
What?
I am proud of Jamaican gun boys for putting their guns up away from their children because I don't see many 3 and 5 year olds killing their siblings. Jamaican gun boys keep track of their machine, okay? That is something right there that I have to admire them for. I can't say that I like them, but I can say you manage your business well.
Acid,
Just keep protecting the babies, okay?
went
And
all the
stop shooting the old people and the ladies.
you just went all the way to the left.
I
It's
thought
In
we
not
fact,
all.
can I make a special request?
9:57,
I
and
just want to make one special request.
talking about teachers migrating in Uganda, but with children. We what's the request? What's the request? I said.
All of the bad boys who I just big up, you know how much we love you. Look, we
Listen,
love you because we know you ours, so we can't throw you away.
I
We're
don't
gonna ask that you take into account everything we're talking about right now
let
and
them.
direct your anger towards the people who are making all of our lives a problem.
I don't
Maybe
know.
you might want to shoot up instead of straight across at
Alric,
the person living next door to you.
Alric said, bottom line, more than 80% of jobs in Jamaica. If you can't hustle while on the job, that job doesn't make sense. And that is the truth. Don Minus says,
That's
well,
America.
Acid, your mic is much clearer than Lady D. Okay, I don't know what's going on with I have to get an engineer in here to do this. I want an engineer to come and just tear down everything and just put everything back. You know what I mean? Because my engineer sometimes coming like he's MIA. You know?
I had to switch to my laptop because my
Okay.
$500 phone wouldn't allow us to do radio.
I'm hoping that I'm a little bit clearer. I
There you
tried
go.
something, so I'm hoping that I'm a little bit clearer.
Well,
There you
Right.
go.
the director of education, she had a news conference 2 days ago, right?
Um,
And her what she was talking about was she was talking in terms of what can we do to keep the teachers. And as far as she was saying, she was talking about an increase in their salaries. She did touch on that, about increasing the salaries. But then there's so much things going on right now. Bogart said he's going to give 10,000 dollars to each individual that you have to be qualified for it. And what he's going to do with that is build. If you have property land, you can build on it. They will help you, give you like a mortgage to build this $10,000 mortgage to build these houses. And I'm saying that um, there is so much money out there. Why? These are folks, and he's talking about people that does not have a job, right? So how are they going to pay back these loans, right? These $10,000 loans? How are they going to pay it back, right? Now, it's geared not just towards the teachers, but it's geared towards any individual that makes X amount of money or does not have an income. Okay? Um, I can't see that, okay? And these teachers, like you said, they're not making enough money to do that. You know, some of them can't even afford to buy food. How are they gonna pay these mortgages? You have to understand that you're trying to help these teachers and help these folks, but you have to be reasonable and rational. You know, um, she said a lot of stuff. She said a lot of stuff. She was the one talking about 80 teachers left since July to present, and and that she's trying to punch it, and most of them going to the private schools, and it's like she's saying why, you know. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. But like this guy, this teacher in China said, he said he had to leave Jamaica, and he said he made the right decision because the woman was asking him if he made the right decision, and he said he did make the right decision because now he can regroup and maybe later on, he said not now, not in the near future, but later on he can maybe go back to Jamaica. But right now, family is more important, and he has to be able to take care of them. So he had to go abroad, and that's what's happening with most of these
well,
teachers. They're going abroad, sending the money back to their family.
that's everyone's dream. That's everyone's dream to provide for their family, whether they're abroad or they're in Jamaica. That's everyone's dream. Every Jamaican dream. Since we're focusing on Jamaica, every Jamaican wants to give their family a good life. Who doesn't? Every human being want to make a good life for their family. So if they need to migrate to wherever that they need to migrate to, then kudos to you. Go ahead and migrate. And when you can save enough money and you want to go back, some people is hoping to go back home, retire back home, and they're here, they're working.
Mm-hmm.
And some takes longer than others because
Then,
as the finance and the cost of living here in America is
yeah.
high too. You know what I'm saying? When you're visiting here and you come and you make a couple of dollars and then you go back and you're building your house and you do, it's a difference. It's a difference
Mm-hmm.
than when you just
Okay.
come and
But
work
one
for a little
particular one,
bit.
he was talking about discipline. He said
Mm.
years ago you could spank them and not abuse them. He said because he said he never abused a child, but he said now you can't even talk to them, the young kids anymore. So he said that's one of the reasons why he left
Well, listen,
the
if he's
education system.
leaving, if he's leaving because he can't talk to the young kids, then he's coming to the wrong place because you
They
can't
coming to America.
have them here. It's
You
some
better go to Canada.
and we
He's
discussed
in
that.
China.
One
He's
moment,
in
one moment,
China.
one moment. We
He's
discussed
in
that.
China. China education is different
We
from here.
dis
They're stricter in China.
we discussed that before of the children and the attitude of children all around the world. I think it's not just Jamaica, it's not just China, it's not just America. It's something in the air. It's something in the food, it's something in the air that is just got our children, their minds is like mad sick, it no good. They don't have no respect for people. They don't have no respect for their parents. They don't have no respect for authorities. They just don't have no respect. Sharon says the politicians don't care about the people that put them in power. Exactly. Their objective is
Hmm.
to do the term, sell what they can. At the end of their term, they leave. They don't live in Jamaica. Exactly. They live
Hmm.
in their mansions in England, Canada, or America. Nothing like the old timers that cared about Jamaica, the island.
Yeah,
You hit that
that's
right
what I
on
said.
the
Old
head,
timers.
Sharon. Donna Moody, big up yourself. Good night to you too. And Donna, Mama Acid had touched something earlier, and she wants we're gonna discuss that to next week. And Mama Acid is talking about sightings in Jamaica. So we're going to touch that next week. So make sure that you call in and reason with us on that one, Donna. Great, great seeing you. Great, great corresponding with you. Yeah, but none of the children, no child, none of these kids, I'm not going to say no child, because some, but the majority of the children now, they don't want to work. They don't. Oh, my mic just went clear. Thank you. They don't want to work. They don't want to work. They don't respect their elders. They don't respect authorities. They don't respect anybody or anything. And no one can convince me about anything other than it is in the food, is in the air, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of parents fight hard to take care of their children in Jamaica. You understand? And they teach them respect and manners. You understand? So it has to be
Mm.
something else. Blessings to you, Janice. She says good night, Lady D, and Mama Acid. Blessings to you. Thanks for joining. Okay. So I don't think that it is necessarily the upbringing of the child. It's the environment, circumstance, and the air. That's what I would say, Mama Acid. Okay, Queen.
Yes,
Okay, that's what I would definitely
you
say of
would
what's
say.
going on in
You would say.
Jamaica. But
These
yeah,
teachers
first
that
is
are leaving Jamaica,
I'm
they
sorry.
are not leaving Jamaica just to teach. They are leaving Jamaica to live because they are not feeling
That's what
comfortable and safe.
I'm
Yes.
They're not feeling respected in the classroom. They don't see any
One moment.
upward mobility to their lives, and
One moment.
teachers are the
Mama Acid.
cornerstone of any nation.
Repeat that, Mama Acid, because Queen was talking while you were talking. Go ahead.
I was saying that teachers, if they don't feel safe,
Uh-huh.
if they can't live, if they don't feel respected in the classroom, if they don't see upward mobility in their careers, they'll leave. And they can do that.
Mhm.
And the cornerstone of any so called government is education. Because if your people are not educated, they don't form any system. So if Jamaica runs off the teachers,
No one's educated. No one's
maybe
going.
that's why they don't want to teach the Constitution in school anymore. They don't teach it in America either. And I'm saying that generally because I've been asking people all over the world about, constitutional history in school, and if when you're in school, do you learn the Constitution? And most people are saying no.
Donna Moody says, and the invasion of different species that look like us. Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
we've been talking about that,
We're
Donna.
going to talk about that next week. We're definitely
Donna,
going to talk about that next week. We're going to talk. So, listen, make sure that you tune in next week, Thursdays, because we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there with this alien business, and we're gonna go there with Mama Acid saying that there are aliens in Jamaica. So we
There's
understand.
alien sightings in Jamaica, and don't forget about the Chinese hospital.
Wait a minute.
and,
Wait a minute.
and we can
Janice,
talk
one
about
moment,
that
Queen.
too.
Queen, one moment. Janice says, remember the younger parents raise differently too. They do. That's true. And we touched that already one time, Janice, about the Janice, about the parents, the younger parents, they're trying to be friends with their children versus being parents. You know, we need to stop being friends and teach our children and discipline our children and do like how our parents taught us to do. Don Minot says too many
Can I
grandparents.
interject?
One moment, and let
Mhm.
me read this one. Don Minot says too many grandparents are themselves barely 40 years old. You got that? Too many semi illiterate parents with no morals. Sharon says, bend the trees in which way it should grow. When it grows up, it will never depart from it. Exactly. And Donna Moody said, I will tune in. And there are aliens all over the world. We're going to touch that. We're going to touch that next week. We're going to touch this
But
alien thing next week as well. Go ahead, Queen. You have the floor.
yeah, but you see, lady, it's not the way you raise the kids, but there's so much distractions out there now. You have the cell phone that they want. You have the pretty outfits that they want. You have the big cars that they want. They have all these things that they want. And in order to attain these things, they go out there and they get on YouTube and they might get on the internet and they might meet a guy, say, meet me over there at that hotel. These are people coming from abroad. Next thing you know, they end up missing. These young girls. There's so many of them missing because we call them licky licky. They're licky licky, but it's because they can't help themselves because these things are flashing in front of them. And because it's flashing in front of them, they want to attain these things. And in order to attain these things, they have to find somebody with the money to give it to them. And they have a couple of programs now on YouTube where it's geared towards young people and their behavior and the consequences of their behavior. And I think those are good programs to introduce to these young kids because it sort of show them the outcomes of their behavior and what can happen. They have one called Express. They have one called Colors, Colourz. They have a couple of them on there that I've been tuning into, and it's geared towards these young kids. But I guess a lot of folks don't know about them, but they need to be exposed to these children so they can see what happens when you be licky licky. I want you mostly you can't afford. They need to know these things. But that's what's going on with the kids. It's not that the parents don't train them, but there's so much things out there that is flashing in front of them that they want to attain. And they don't understand because, like you said, half of them don't have the education. Half of them not going to school. I was listening to it the other day where how many children
Hold the line, caller.
register for school,
Uh-huh.
who registered for school in the whole country. That's sad. That's sad. Instead, they rather uh, go to the pier and get on the boats and go out fishing to get money or whatever instead of going to school. How can they get that education if they don't go to school?
Okay. Hold the line. Donna says yes, the big grown men are abducting them for prostitution. Caller, we have a caller. Caller, go ahead, caller.
Hi.
Go ahead, caller. And
Yes,
please
it's
turn your
me
radio
again.
down in the
It's Jimmy again.
turn
Yes,
your
it's Jimmy
radio
again.
down in the background. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is this. Yeah, the kids are like that and what's not, but we have to understand too that most of these kids they don't believe us. When we tell them that there's trafficking going on, they think we're lying. They think we're over exaggerating. We too paranoid and all of that. So they don't listen to what we have to say. And there's so much other things that influence them in doing what they want to do. But it all comes down to the fact that these kids nowadays, they think they know more than us older folks. So they do what they want to do and they listen to their friends before they listen to an adult that's trying to help them. They don't want to hear us. They don't want to hear us. And that's what it comes down to. If they can take the time to just listen to what we're saying to them and realize that we don't mean them any harm. We're not paranoid, and maybe we are paranoid because of what's going on. But just listen to us and take that little extra precaution. They don't bother with that. They think that, oh, forget about it. Oh, she don't know what she's talking about. Oh, I'm going to go on this site and I'm going to go and meet this person because I want to meet somebody. So they do all of that, but they're not thinking about the consequences. They keep forgetting that there are consequences to every action, and they need to realize that, understand that, and accept that before they can move on and before they start listening to us adults. That's what I have to say. Thank you, ladies.
Okay, well, let me ask you. You said that children don't believe that there's consequences. That's what you feel, that they don't feel that is. I think that they know that is consequences for their actions. Go ahead, Acid. You mute yourself. Unmute.
Most of them are taught to not care
Right.
because they're taught that a group is stronger than an individual.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's why group ethics. I just read this thing earlier today about group ethics and what happens when these
Hold on.
kids form that group ethics view.
Okay, we have another caller. You're live. Caller.
Yeah, that's just me calling back, and I'm just saying. Yes, that's what I'm saying, is that they don't believe their consequences, really. They act like there's consequences and they believe there's consequences, but they don't accept that there are consequences until they hit them. When they hit them, then they have something to say, or they try to claim, oh, you didn't tell me this, you didn't tell me that. But I've been trying to tell them this all the time, but they were not listening. I mean, I have this discussion with so many young people, and I tell them about what's going on in the world, but they don't believe me. They talk about, oh, you just talking to be talking. You don't know what you're talking about. Of course, I know what I'm talking about. I'm old enough. I've been through everything. Take the time to listen to what I'm saying, and then you probably won't put yourself in a situation that you don't need to put yourself in. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Donna
But you
says.
see, it's,
Donna.
it's,
One
it's
moment,
not
Queen.
just the children; it's the
Queen.
parents.
Queen.
The
One
parents.
moment. Donna says it's hypnosis. Janice says they know but they don't care. I would more go with Janice as far as Janice say they know but they don't care. The children
Yeah.
of today don't care. They
No, they
don't
don't know, but they don't care that they don't know.
they don't care.
Yes.
They're they're
But what do
they're
you
not
say about the
afraid.
parents?
Like
They don't have no fear.
we used to be afraid of consequences. We Even when we do certain things, we hide and do it. Things like that. They're bold face. Caller, could you turn down your radio in the back, please? They're bold face. They don't care. It's I mean, there's no caller. I need you to turn down your radio in the back. I need you to turn down the radio in the back. Donna says there is a division going on against humanity. I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But whom is
I would
causing
agree.
this division in humanity? Olivia, blessings, Olivia. Olivia said, sorry, late. Hi, lady, dear Mama Acid. Blessings to you, Olivia. Thanks for checking in. Man, one of our dedicated listeners, with Donna Moody. And mine, man, we have so many.
Lady,
I ain't even gonna go there. Huh?
lady, you
Yeah.
know some of these women, these parents in Jamaica, I'm just talking about the women. You know they're sending these little young girls out there too to make this money.
Some of the
They're sending
parents
them
know
out there
what.
to
Some of them know.
prostitute to bring the money
Listen,
in.
a lot of them know what their children are out there doing. Okay,
Yes,
a lot
yes,
of them know what their children are out there doing, and
they're reaping from it.
exactly, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
And then again,
yeah,
it brings us back. Once again, it brings us back
to
to
the
the
economy.
the
Yeah.
the cost, the pay that they are getting, the
Hmm.
cost of
Yes,
living
yes.
that they are facing, and having to hustle,
And personal safety.
and in their safety. Alex says, I agree 100%. Don't matter how you try your best to teach your kids, whenever they leave your house, it's up to that individual kid the route they will go on. Yeah, yeah. Because what my parents
Hmm.
instilled in me, it's in me. It's in me.
Hmm.
I know right from
Hmm.
wrong, not just because my parents taught me that, but because I know when I've done something wrong. You know when you do it. You know what I mean? You
You
know
feel
when
it.
you do it. You feel it. You feel it. They have no
You're funny.
feelings.
Yeah.
It coming
You
like
feel it.
these children these days don't have no feelings. You know, they have
Mhm.
no feelings whatsoever.
No morals, none of that. Yeah, it's
Man,
just
this
anything goes.
this is ten
And most of them
twenty.
has no direction.
No
Most of
direct.
them has no direction.
Yeah, no.
You know, and some of them feel like they can't talk to other people, so they keep this to themselves and let it fester. You know, and then it turns into something else. You know, or they try to deny it to themselves instead of, trying to deal with it. They try to deny it instead, and that's not good. You know, you got to put it out there so others will know what's really going on. And that's what it all comes down to. If you don't open your mouth and let others know what's going on and listen to what they're saying, you are never going to get over. You're never going to make it. Ladies, good night. I love you. I'm going to sit here and watch y'all and hear what you
I,
got to say.
I love you.
Love you.
Donna Moody said they replaced our children. Don Minot says, whenever these young Jamaicans speak on social media, their grammar is very poor. They are not equipped for today's workforce. They are sure to fail a simple interview. That's sad.
Sure.
That's
That's
real,
that.
real sad.
They don't go to school. Half of them don't go to school. Half of them do not go to school. I was watching a program over there. They do not go to school. Half of them. And when they had that problem with the computers, it was worse. Honey, when they remember when the
When the big
American
C.
government sent X amount of money to Jamaica to buy those computers, half of them did not get the computer. So they end up not being educated for almost a year. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
It's crazy. It's a
1 year.
sad state in our country. It's a sad state in our country of Jamaica, and you know, it brings us back to our conversation that we've been having even for the last 3 weeks, as to whom is in office, our the our government, the parties that are in office, and what are they doing to assist? Absolutely nothing. And when we talk about change, there is no change because, as I said last week, as I said last, if there is an election that was held right now, the same individual will be back in office because there is no one qualified enough to challenge it. I don't see anyone in PNP to challenge. And as we stated, we need a new party. Who is that new party? As Don,
Donald Trump.
as Don said, can we get people from the diaspora to form something and to go back into Jamaica and make a party? We had one that
That's
said
what I
that
was
he was
saying.
doing that. I mean, is
You
Jamaica
know
just,
why I said Donald Trump?
yes, Dan. Yes, Dan. Jamaica needs another Manley, a Michael Manley. Jamaica desperately needs another Michael Manley. Go ahead, Ask.
Jamaica is in a cult structure right now.
Uh-huh.
People in the cult blindly follow. They don't go away. They don't ask questions because they follow. They follow because they feel safe. When you are in a safety position, you don't want to endanger that and make it difficult for you because you are the one who has to deal with that. So what has happened, and this has been proven because history shows us, when you have a government that is based upon a group of people that are in upper income levels, they look out for people in upper income levels and they say it will trickle down. Guess what trickles down? Rain. And we know all of it is poison right now, according to science. So what has happened is after socialism left Jamaica, after Michael Manley, when socialism left Jamaica, the concept of socialism may still exist in conversations and in our minds from the good old days, the good old days, but we don't have that now. We have a Jamaican Donald Trump. I'm sorry to say, but hungry is Jamaican Donald Trump. He's the Jamaican Cheeto Mussolini. He
Sharon,
don't like Jamaican people. He doesn't like black people. He doesn't like poor people. He doesn't like anything that is not going to directly stuff his pocket.
Sharon says the reason why this is happening is because parents want to be their children's friend. No, you are the parent. That's exactly what I said too, Sharon.
Exactly. That's it.
Says,
My mother was not my friend, but she was in school with me every day.
Alric says, I thought we had a strong third party.
Where
Please
are they?
please enlighten us, Alric, as to Mr. Alric, as to
I
whom
think we the third party because we the only ones ever talk about these issues and refuse to run for election because
there
we
was
would get elected.
a gentleman, I forget his name. We talked about this even last week, where he had formed a party, and then there was a lot of entertainers. A lot of entertainers were gravitating to that particular individual. And what is it? Sorry, but PNP party done. PNP, PNP,
CLP party done too. What's the difference? Just the colors?
LP is done, but they're not done because Jamaican people is party wise. They are they don't vote for the individual, they vote for the party. You the JLPs are voting just because, oh man, we are green, I'm in green, I'm in green.
Cult.
The PNP votes because I'm in green, I'm in green. But
Cult.
hear this. It's the same thing here in America. Democrats vote
Democrats. Cult.
Democrat.
Republicans. Cult.
Republicans vote because Republicans. No one is reading, no one is investigating about person that is running. For instance, let's look at this Herschel Walker. If you want to call, let's put him on the platform here. Herschel Walker, the most illiterate sounding individual that the JSC have running against Raphael Warner. Okay? And people are voting for him regardless how foolish he sounds, regardless the foolish statements that he made, regardless the foolish expressions that he put on his face. People are voting for him because why? He's in the Republican Party and they want the Republican seat to beat out Raphael Warner. So once again, it's not the person, it's the loyalty to these parties. Democrat, Republican,
Yeah,
PNP,
you hear about
Laborite. And yes, Donna, I agree. Donna, I agree with you. Politics is a big joke. It's a
They just
joke.
cults.
And we are the ones that are being laughed after. Okay? We are the ones that's being laughed at. And we are the ones that are being the big S on, because we are getting nothing for these people whom are holding these seats. We are suffering both here in America and in Jamaica. We are suffering because we don't have proper leadership. Where is this next party coming from?
Disrespect. It's all
Exactly.
disrespect.
They are white collar criminals running our systems. Exactly. That's what they are. That is
That's why we started with PJ Patterson because he was the one who started to cycle with the Department of Defense based upon America saying, we're going to help you with weed and seed. You need to take these guns and shoot up all of these people that could possibly be exporting this demon weed to America. You got to kill these people in your posses.
my echo is back. Okay. Okay. Listen, it is 10:29 on the powerhouse clock. We have to get up and get out of here.
We got to go.
We have to go. And we have so much that we still need to talk about. We got the
yeah.
Medicaid expansion that I guess um what's his name, Kemp, is trying to do or don't want to do. We have monkeypox that we still
Monkeypox!
even touch
We
monkeypox
have $10,000 forgiveness for your student loan.
for your
Maybe
student
20.
loan. You know,
Maybe
um,
20.
Juliet says we're not going to condone violence. Okay, all right, we're not condoning violence or anything such as. I just love you all. I love you all, and we love you all, and we thank you all for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to continue next week, 8 o'clock, right here
Topic.
on the
8-ish.
8ish, 8ish on the Powerhouse Radio, streaming live on Victorious Radio, 89.1 FM. So we want to thank 89.1, and 80.9.1 is growing. Yeah, they're getting ready to get over this side, and yeah, big things going on. So continue to keep it locked. For all of the Conyers, Covington, Macon, Monticello, all of the areas, we just want to thank you all for listening via that outlet.
Oh, they always leave out Fayette and Fulton County.
Fayette, Fulton
We
County,
don't count. We little.
God is because they are such thieves. They are creating these diseases in their labs to wipe us out.
It's true.
I agree with that as well. I agree with that as well. But the strong will survive. But listen, we getting out of here. We're gonna leave out with Don Minot. Love is the answer. And we want to say big ups to each and every one that participated: Sharon, Alric, Donna, um, Janice, Queen, Oh gosh, I can't go all the way back. Juliet, Sister Julie, Latoya, Michelle. We just want to thank each and every one
We
for
got a bunch of tumblers too.
and
All of them tumblers.
all of the people and listeners. We want to thank you for listening as well. Next week, even more interesting. So
Oh,
make
one
sure.
other thing. Prayers for our people who are experiencing the floods right now, because we got some people in almost every one of them states that are really going through it, especially our people down in Mississippi, our people in Texas, the people that are really getting hit in the panhandle. We got you in our prayers. Louisiana, we definitely going to be asking for your safety.
Yes. Don Minot, we want to thank you all the time for your support of the Powerhouse Radio. We definitely want to thank you as well. And man, for Don Minot music, make sure you just Google DonMinott. Good music, wonderful music. So make sure that you support. Donna says they create these storms with the collide. Oh, trust me, we're gonna
True.
talk about that. We're gonna touch a lot of that in the coming weeks, Donna. We're definitely gonna kick it off next week as well with the topics that we most definitely have. We're loving it. Share the platform. Invite friends, families, all of that's very enlightening. We want to thank Queen and Sister Julie for continuing to share. I have seen y'all
Yeah.
on your Facebooks and all of that that you're sharing the platform, and we most definitely appreciate that and love you all for that. Next week, Saturday, make sure you check out Lady D's show, 12 to 4 p.m. Loving her, leaving out with the man himself, Mr. Donna. Don Minor. Love is the answer. Love you, Sister Queen. Mwah. Love you, my sister. Acid. You know I love you like right. You got it.
There you go.
All around the world, people searching for love, but still can't find no peace of mind. Oh, love, love is the answer. Love is the answer. Give someone helping hand. Try and do the very best you can, cause we can go on like this. Love us every day like this. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Throw away the guns, throw away the guns. Killing people ain't no fun. To all politicians, stop the war in the motherland. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. All around the world, people searching for love. They still can't find no peace of mind. Cause there ain't no love. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Hey. Love is the answer. Gotta make a way, make a day for love. Gotta make a way, make a day for love. Gotta make a way, make a day for love. Gotta make a way, make a day for love. Hey. Love is the
You're in
answer.
tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.
Victorious 89.1 WAKE.
Your unity in the community, nation.
Da 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 da.